What if I told you that the biggest reason many senior men stop chasing women isn't heartbreak, isn't bitterness, and isn't giving up on love? It's something much deeper. As men grow older, they begin to see relationships through a completely different lens. The things that once seemed important slowly lose their power. Attention, attraction, validation, even romance. None of them matter as much as they once did. And in their place, one thing becomes priceless: peace. For many men over 50 or 60, this change doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of decades of experience, victories, disappointments, sacrifices, and hard-earned lessons. When you're young, you believe love can solve almost everything. You tolerate disrespect because you think it's part of commitment. You ignore red flags because you don't want to lose someone. You spend years trying to prove your worth, provide, protect, and make everyone else happy. But eventually, something changes. A man realizes that he's spent much of his life giving his time, energy, and emotional strength, while often receiving very little appreciation in return. Instead of becoming angry, he becomes selective. Instead of chasing harder, he simply steps back. Most people never notice this change because older men rarely announce it. They don't argue. They don't complain. They quietly choose a different path. If you ask them why they're single, they'll smile and say, "I'm just enjoying my life." But behind those simple words lies years of wisdom. One of the greatest discoveries many senior men make is that a peaceful life is incredibly valuable. Without constant conflict, emotional games, or unnecessary drama, life feels lighter. They sleep better. They think more clearly. They enjoy their hobbies, friendships, and routines without emotional exhaustion. For the first time in decades, they feel free. That doesn't mean they stop believing in love. It means they stop believing that every relationship is worth the cost. With age comes clarity. Older men begin to understand the difference between companionship and chaos. They no longer confuse passion with compatibility. They no longer mistake attention for genuine care. And they know that respect will always outlast attraction. If someone brings stress instead of support, they quietly walk away. Not because they don't care, but because they finally care about themselves. Another reason many senior men become less interested in dating is that they've learned happiness doesn't depend on having a partner. They've raised families, built careers, survived losses, and overcome failures. Those experiences teach them something powerful. Fulfillment comes from within. A relationship can enrich life, but it should never become the only source of happiness. That's why many older men become incredibly selective. They're not looking for someone to complete them. They're looking for someone who adds peace to a life that's already complete. Many people misunderstand this. They assume senior men are lonely. But loneliness and solitude are not the same thing. Solitude can be healing. It allows a man to enjoy quiet mornings, pursue personal interests, travel, read, exercise, and live without constant emotional pressure. Once a man discovers the comfort of his own company, he becomes very careful about who he allows into his life. At this stage, appearance matters less. Character matters more. Beauty fades. Kindness remains. Charm fades. Respect lasts. Senior men aren't searching for perfection. They're searching for emotional safety. They want honesty instead of manipulation, calm instead of chaos, and partnership instead of competition. They no longer have the energy for endless arguments or relationships that feel one-sided. Life has taught them that time is limited. Every unnecessary conflict steals moments they'll never get back. Many older men also become more protective of what they've worked their entire lives to build, not just financially, but emotionally. Their confidence no longer depends on approval from others. They don't need to impress anyone. They don't chase validation. They've learned that self-respect is far more valuable than temporary attention. This often surprises people. The same man who once fought desperately to save every relationship now walks away quietly when respect disappears. Not because he's cold, but because he's wise. Perhaps the biggest misconception is that senior men stop caring about women. The truth is much different. They stop caring about unhealthy relationships. They stop caring about emotional games. They stop caring about proving their worth to people who never appreciated it. But they never stop valuing genuine connection. If the right woman comes into their life, someone who brings kindness, loyalty, understanding, and peace, they'll gladly welcome her. Because love itself isn't the problem. The wrong kind of love is. In the end, senior men don't become distant because they've lost their hearts. They become selective because they've finally learned their value. After decades of experience, they understand one simple truth. Peace is not something to sacrifice. It's something to protect. And once a man reaches that level of wisdom, he no longer chases what disturbs his life. He chooses what strengthens it. Because at this stage of life, the greatest luxury isn't excitement, it's peace.